The torture Junko Furuta went through was brutal. She was gang-raped, abused, beaten, starved, and went through horrific physical and mental trauma. Here, in this video, I will tell you all of that, for information purpose only. If you want the whole story, click on the I button, where I explained what really happened to her. With that said, let's start the video. On the evening of November 25, 1988, Miyano and Minato rode around Misato on their motorcycles with the intention of robbing and raping local women, and spotted Furuta, who was on her way home from her part-time job. Acting on Miyano's orders, Minato kicked Furuta off her bicycle and fled the scene. Miyano, under the pretense of witnessing the attack by coincidence, approached Furuta and offered to walk her home. Upon tricking her and gaining her trust, Miyano took Furuta to a nearby warehouse and threatened her, claiming to be a member of the Yakuza and saying that he would spare her only if she followed his orders. That night, Miyano took Furuta by taxi to a hotel in Adaki, where he raped her. He later called Minato's house, and bragged to Ogura about the rape, after which Ogura told him not to let Furuta leave. In the early morning hours of November 26, Miyano took Furuta to a park near the hotel, where Ogura, Minato, and Watanabe were waiting. They told her they knew where she lived, and that the Yakuza would kill her family if she attempted to escape. Minato agreed to allow Furuta to be confined in a room on the second floor of his house in Adaki, for the purpose of gang-raping her. Furuta was held captive for the next 39 days. On 27th of November, Furuta's parents contacted the police about her disappearance. To discourage further investigation, the kidnappers forced Furuta to call her mother 3 times to convince her that she had run away, but was safe, and staying with friends. When Minato's parents were present at the house where she was being confined, Furuta was forced to act as his girlfriend. The group dropped this pretense when it became clear that Minato's parents would not report them to the police. The parents later claimed that they did not intervene because they were afraid of their own son, who had been increasingly violent toward them. On the night of November 28, Miyano and the others, along with Nakamura and Ihara, gang-raped Furuta, after which Miyano shaved her pubic hair with a razor, and used a match to burn her genital area. In early December, as punishment for an escape attempt, the group repeatedly punched Furuta in the face, and Miyano burned her ankles with a lighter. They forced Furuta to dance to music while naked, masturbate in front of them, and stand on the balcony, in the middle of the night with little clothing, and inserted objects into her vagina and anus, including a metal rod and a bottle. They also forced her to drink large amounts of alcohol, milk, and water, smoke 2 cigarettes at once, and inhale paint thinner fumes. In one attack in the middle of the month, Furuta was beaten by the group on the pretext that Miyano had stepped on a puddle of her spilled urine, after which he burned her thighs and hands several times with lighter fluid. From around this time, Furuta, unable to bear the repeated assaults, would sometimes plead to be killed by her captors. Her left nipple was also forcibly removed with pliers. Throughout the month, the severity of the abuse continued to escalate. By the end of December, Furuta was severely malnourished, after being fed only small amounts of food, and eventually only milk. Due to her injuries and burns, she had become unable to go to the downstairs toilet, and was thereafter confined to the floor of the room, in a state of extreme physical and mental weakness. Her appearance had been drastically altered after repeated beatings, with her face becoming so swollen that it was difficult to recognize her, and her infected wounds had started to emit a foul odor. On January 4, 1989, after losing money in a game of mahjong the night before, Miyano decided to take his anger out on Furuta. He ignited a candle and dripped hot wax on her face, placed 2 shortened candles on her eyelids, and forced her to drink her own urine. Furuta was lifted and kicked, fell onto a stereo unit, and began a fit of convulsions. To prevent them from being stained with blood, the group covered their hands in plastic bags, before beating her with their fists and an iron exercise ball, and dropped the ball on her abdomen several times. Miyano poured lighter fluid on Furuta, and set her on fire. She made weak attempts to put herself out, but eventually stopped moving. The assault lasted for about 2 hours, after which Furuta died at 10 a.m. Less than 24 hours after her death, Minato's brother called to tell him that Furuta appeared to be dead. Afraid that their crime would be discovered, the group wrapped Furuta's body in a blanket, and placed it in a large travel bag, then put the bag in a metal drum, and filled it with wet concrete. At around 8 p.m. on January 5, the group drove to a vacant lot near a construction site, on the island of Wakasu in Koto, Tokyo, and dumped the drum there. The pain and agony Junko Furuta suffered is unimaginable. We can only pray for her soul to rest in peace. If you like the video, kindly subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.